All right, guys. Today we are gonna be reacting to can promiscuous women be saved from their past? I don't think so. Let's jump in.
When she was living that life, she was of lower value, meaning she brought less to the table. And then she went through a period of growth and maturity. She held off from it because obviously she can't wipe away her past. And then decides, she's going to approach relationships differently while also trying to bring more to the table. What would you say?
This is an argument which is now being had in almost every major metropolitan Protestant church, Orthodox and Catholic church across the country, just in very hushed whispers. There is a slew now of women because so many have been some form of sex worker at this point. The number is staggering, who later regret this decision and move over into Christianity. But the Christian men's perspective on this is that I still do not want to date her because she was a sex worker, right? And so the women complain, but wait, I was forgiven for my sins, which is true. You were forgiven. Christ forgives, and forevermore, may you find all of the joy in life that you deserve. But that does not entitle you to a husband who does not prefer to have a sex worker, nor a woman with a high body count. And so what happens is women go to the church for a shield, but for the wrong shield. They're supposed to go to the church for a shield of faith so that they can enter into the kingdom of heaven and repent humbly of their sin. They're not supposed to go to church to get a shield from criticism for being whores. That is not what that is there for. And so this debate rages where the feminists have infiltrated the church and stated, no, these women deserve the kind of husband because they have reformed that they want. But that is simply not the case. Jesus, you get the salvation for the sin that you've done when you humbly go to the church and request forgiveness. Does not entitle you to a husband who is going to look past the demons of your past. He doesn't have to deal with that.
If I want to add to what Andrew's saying, so like former girls, workers, high body count, promiscuous women, they can be saved by Christ, but Christian men do not need to then disregard their baggage and marry them. And I think that these are...
And that's a good point, and that's the entire argument. They want to be saved by God, but then now they want a godly man to save them. No.
completely compatible.
Now we're not playing that game.
I guess I was talking about, aside from the baggage, her morally and value-wise increasing, like I said, bringing more to the table. Like, okay,
Which is
everything you want in a woman. I feel like Andrew's answered this before, but everything you want in a woman, but she was misled in her younger years and made...
Then it's not everything you want in a woman. It's a contradiction in terms.
Okay.
So you can imagine me saying that the highest priority I have as a woman, let's say in Brian's case, he says, one of the highest values I have is a woman who has a very low body count. And you say, okay, but what if it's the perfect woman absent this thing? My argument to you would be, well, then it's not the perfect woman, right? Because it doesn't fall within the guidelines of what he considers a perfect woman to be, which is a low body count. So what happens is this great circle, right? But wait, I'm now everything that you wanted. That's great, but what about the fact that you still have this criteria that I want less than any other criteria? And so I don't know how women offset that. I just want to let you know, men are completely revolted by women with high body counts. It's ingrained, and here's why it's ingrained. It's ingrained because men only recently could be assured of paternity. Oh, that's a recent invention where you could go get a paternity test and know that your offspring was yours. That was elusive to men. Kings would have given kingdoms to have known if the prodigy was theirs or not, if the offspring was theirs or not.
Damn, that's crazy.
Now we can do this, but it's so ingrained in us that we have a woman who is completely and totally monogamous to us only, so that we can assure the offspring is ours, that we find it completely revolting if they have a high body count, because from our perspective, it almost assures the offspring will not be ours, and we will end up being cuckolded.
The assurance of the offspring not being yours, would that be because you can't trust her to not be promiscuous in the precepts of the relationship?
Yeah, right. So the less women or the less men a woman has been with, right, the more assurance that, imagine there's no paternity test. Tell me how you guarantee that the child, from a man's perspective, think of it only from a man's perspective, there's no paternity test. You tell me the criteria you would use to assure that your offspring was yours.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can't say anything to that. That makes
Yeah,
perfect sense.
yeah.
It makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah,
So
it
then,
makes perfect sense, but the feminists are going against it. They're trying to fight against it. It makes perfect sense for folks. Even her, she said it. It makes perfect sense, but the feminists are still against it. Because I think that's their ultimate strategy is always to try to get the seed of the highest alpha. But then they need the provider, which is going to be the beta male. And this is what the feminists have. They got to that point where they can simply get access to the alpha. The alpha gives them that seed. And then the provider, which is the beta male, comes in and takes those seeds. Right? But here you are, the guy, the seed, the beta male, thinking, man, why this 32-year-old female never got married? She's beautiful. She's with me. I guess because I'm unique. What has to be is that she spent her most important years finding or following that seed, and she managed to get it, or she probably had it already in mind, and they're still going back and forward. She get married with the guy. She had the alpha guy or the Shadow Tyrone or the Pookie Ray Ray right there in the little corner. Get that seed. She said she already have what she wants. She has the beta guy providing and the alpha guy with the seed. Guess what? Now we have paternity test. Now we know this. Now we know that this is happening more often than we think. 30% of men are currently raising kids that are not theirs. And this is the problem. Somehow females are against it. Against paternity fraud.
wouldn't it make sense also that you were completely revolted? There was a revolting aspect to women who had been with a lot of men, because that ingrained in a man assures them that they push away the women who could not assure the offspring is theirs.
I guess what my question was, like, say there's a break in the track record, like a good set of time, meaning like, I'll give a time frame to make it easier to understand. A lot of girls in high school now, specifically, are being fed these terrible morals and values and really immature and don't understand the consequences of it.
Yeah.
Then they finally.
And what sex are most of the teachers in high school, by the way?
Female.
Mm-hmm.
So
There we
who's
go.
teaching all these women to be sluts, I wondered?
Well, okay, that I completely agree with.
Yeah, sexual education. Where is the sexual education coming from? Bunch of feminists. They introduced that stuff in the late 70s. Early 60s, I think it was. Early 60s, late 70s. Females, why would you want to bring that into a classroom? Because you can open a Pandora box. That's why.
Trust me, we could agree on that. But I guess my point would be, she had no guidance and was led by the world, found Christ and was saved from those ideas. But because beforehand, I guess, so this would be outside of sex work, I guess you could say. This would be immature promiscuity. But
Sure.
then decided to go the right way and showed a track record of, let's say, celibacy. Then would that still fall under the point that you made? Because you're talking about.
Yes, it falls under the same point. I'll explain how very quickly. Right. It really doesn't. Christ will save your soul. Okay? And Christ will bring you joy. And there really is no pathway, as far as I'm concerned, in life other than Jesus Christ. He is the Lord and Savior of all things. It's not going to ever negate the fact that a man is going to be disgusted by the fact you fuck 50 dudes. And you can say, well, wait, but I only did that 10 years ago because I was misled.
Yeah, that doesn't
That
matter.
sucks. I'm sorry that you were misled, and I'm sorry that you, well, not you, right? I'm just saying
Right.
the hypothetical woman we're talking about.
Yeah.
I would say I'm sorry that you 50 guys because you were misled. but how does that entitle you to me?
I guess I'm just high numbers. I guess in my mind, I'm not thinking that high because in my
Well,
mind,
whatever it is, let's say it's 10. Let's
Yeah.
say it's 5, and 5 is too many. Let's say it's 1, and 1 is too many. How are you entitled in any way, shape, or form to
Got
a
real.
man drawing the boundary that they don't want to be with a woman who's ever been with a man besides themselves just because they've been saved by Christ? That doesn't even make sense, right? That doesn't even make sense when you think about it.
right. I wasn't saying it was like an entitlement. I guess I was just asking your perspective on that.
There's men who will look past all sorts of things, and God bless them. Okay, God bless those men who will look past all sorts of things. But here's the truth. The truth is that most aren't going to. Most aren't going to. Most men who are in churches and they want to find a woman of faith who shares their same values are running into this wall over and over again, where it turns out that this woman is a multi-tier divorcee, single mom, former sex worker, this and that. They don't want that shit.
Nah.
They don't want it.
Too much drama, and guys have to deal with the world, and the world's kind of hard already. Then you have to come to your home, and you have to deal with your wife. Then you guys don't want that. Guys don't want that at all. This is why it's important to always go for a woman that is very, let's put it this way, gentle. I'm looking for this word. There's a word for this. It's not gentle that I'm looking for. It's not naive either. Submissive is one, but it's closer to that. Like she hasn't really seen the world. She hasn't seen the world. If she has seen the world, has been very, very surface level, right? You don't want somebody that's going to a job. You don't want none of that. We don't like that, right? But at the same time, if you already went through all that, that means you have to top it. Not only you have to top it, you have to bring those emotions to her, because that's the only thing she's attracted to. It's a lot of drama, man.
And the thing is, they rage. They literally are pounding on the glass every day. They're like, you guys got to stop this. Think about your future. You know what women say? Oh, it's fine. I'll be rich. It's fine. I'll be rich. You know how much money I make on OnlyFans? I'll be rich. Brian has done a call to action now. I've counted, right? He's done it over 20 times while I've been on the program. 20 times he's done a call to action to women. Will you quit your OnlyFans career after now knowing the information that you did not have before? And you know what they always say every single time? Flat out, no.
Yeah.
So they don't care.
Yeah, that's
So
hard.
they don't care. And if they don't care about their own future, then why should I care about them being damned by it? They damn themselves. They just go,
That's
I don't
crazy.
care because who gives a shit? That's 10 years from now. And as we all know, every woman on planet Earth is going to be even hotter in 10 years. They're going to be even hotter in 20 years.
Yeah, man, he just brought it back to that. He's literally putting this stuff in their face.
Ask them. They're going to be the hottest shit that's ever existed in 20 years. All you got to do is ask them, right? They all say the same shit. And then lo and behold,
Panda donated
right?
$69.
Sorry, I'll skip it. Go ahead.
yeah, then lo and
I'll
behold,
come
what
back
ends
to
up happening? 20 years hits, and they're like, fuck, I'm not hotter. Shit, I do have a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Damn, I really probably shouldn't have put naked pictures of me sticking a dildo up my vagina on the internet. Boy, that really came back to bite me in the ass. And men go, they just kind of shrug, right? They're like, but everybody fucking told you. And the women are like, yeah, but I did listen. But don't worry, it's okay now because I'm saved by Christ.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, and that's how they see it. Females think that they can just go through all that, and somehow they're gonna find that guy because she found Christ. Hey, good for you, found Christ, but I mean, Christ is not even guaranteeing your salvation. You have to work for your salvation, and the Christian guy or the guy that's not even Christian doesn't have to even accept it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.